Hi everybody, thanks for watching this video on how to sharpen a boning knife or a fillet knife, and in this case I have a knife that does both. Now a boning knife is something you'll see like this, very typical shape, and it's used to get meat off the bones. However, this is a knife that I really like from Cutco. It's the only knife I actually love from Cutco, and it is called the Fisherman's Solution. And although it says Fisherman's, it's really designed for filleting fish, but also does a great job at being a boning knife. Now, the thing I like about this knife is that it's very long, and you can actually take it out, which is really nice to clean it, and you can actually adjust the length you need in the kitchen to do your boning work. Now, the thing that I love about this knife and that I despise about the knife is the handle. When it comes to sharpening, this handle gets in the way a lot of times. So this video is going to show you if you have a handle like this where the bolster goes and hits the sharpening wheel, there's a way around that. I'm going to show you a tip and a trick on how to sharpen the knife when it actually hits this wheel. And if you put this in here like so, you'll notice that this hits the wheel. So you can't get your knife all the way in to sharpen it without it hitting the wheel. Now the thing that's great about this is the Tormek T1 is by far to me the best power knife sharpener in the kitchen for any home cook, even for somebody who's doing, catering and using knives more frequently than just a regular home cook. This is still a fantastic sharpener that lets you get your knives resharpened quickly, and you can also hone them every time you use them, which actually keeps them aligned at the apex and keeps them very sharp. Now, what's nice about this is you have your adjustable section here, your guide, and this can actually move forward and backwards. So with the guide, you want to take this guide and you want to push it all the way to the front. And then when you use your knife and slide it in, it's actually going to let you get the entire blade before you actually hit that wheel. So you'll be able to move all the way in. You'll see here, you're not hitting the wheel, and you'll be able to then go back and forth without any problem. And that alleviates the issue with a big, huge bolster here on the knife handle. The other thing is that you will have to take this and adjust it twice. You'll adjust it the first time going one way, and then you have the same problem where if you go back the other way and you have this in a standard position, and you put this knife in here, you're gonna go ahead and hit right here, and it's actually hitting the wheel. So you wanna make sure you adjust this. It'll allow you to put the knife all the way in without hitting that wheel as it spins. And that's one of the great features of having the T1 is the guide is adjustable forward and backwards. And a lot of people have asked me, why do you need to adjust it backward and forwards? Well, this is actually one of the big reasons, because some of the knives you're gonna have the bolster area or this part of the handle hitting the sharpener. So by moving that backwards and forwards, it allows you to slide that knife back and forth without hitting it and making sure you get a complete length of the sharpening up and down the blade. We're going to go ahead and start with this position all the way back. We're going to go ahead and confirm the sharpening angle on this, which should be around 20 degrees, but it's looking more like about 18 or 19 degree angle. So we're going to go ahead and sharpen this at 18 degrees, and I'm going to adjust this right to the 18 mark. You can see here that I'm actually adjusted to 18 degrees. Really nice wooden handle on this. I love this. This is the new Tormek Black edition. I also have a silver edition, but I really, really love the black. It goes with the kitchen, and I just think it looks really awesome. We'll do a quick sharpness test. Okay, so our knife is at 265. 265 is pretty sharp. 300 to 350 is factory sharpness. 265 is not bad. But we'll go ahead and see if we can get this sharper. So we'll go ahead and start this, and we're going to pass this back and forth. Make sure you get the tip really well. We're going to slide this in like so. Now we'll do several passes on this, and we want to try to raise a little bit of a burr on one of the sides of the blade. So we're going to bring this down, and we're going to just go back and forth on this evenly. And again, this is going all the way up to the back of that edge on the blade, and that's because we've moved this back. That's the guide. We can look at this and see that we're not creating any of the grinding above that apex edge. That's because we set this correctly at 18 degrees. You can watch my other videos that show you how to determine the angle of your knife. I happen to use a goniometer that I actually created. It's actually a design that I got, but I created this with a 3D printer. And if you're interested in that, you can drop a comment down below and DM me on Facebook or Instagram, and we can talk about the goniometer. So we're gonna go back and forth on this a few more times. This is about a 600 grit equivalent, and it works well. So we'll go ahead and get this in here. And again, this is a really thin knife. So the one thing that's nice is the guide on this device holds that knife in place. So it prevents it from going back and forth and keeps it at that perfect angle. Let's go ahead and feel this. We should have a little bit of a burr, barely. If it's there, it's just a little bit. That's all we need. And we'll go ahead and do this side. When we take this back here, we're gonna hit, which we don't wanna hit the wheel at all. So we're gonna have to move our guide back now. So we're gonna move this back, and we wanna keep it at the 18-degree angle. So we're gonna move it back here all the way, actually move it mostly all the way forward, like so. And we'll just double check and make sure we're at the 18-degree angle, which we are. And now we can go and start sharpening the blade on this side. So we just move this back and forth like so. We're not only removing the burr, we're actually now sharpening this other side as well. My knife is going all the way to that stop point. This is the stop point right here. And it's not hitting at all, which if you had this forward at all, you would get the hitting. So that's one of the reasons this is great to have an adjustable angle guide on this T1. And we're gonna go ahead and then do a honing, and we'll check the sharpness on this. Okay, and let's go ahead and clean this off real quick. And okay, I could take this before and I could drag this. I can't now, so I think it's pretty sharp. The one thing that's great about the T1, and make sure you have this going the correct way, which is the power button facing you. Now we're gonna go ahead and hone using the honing wheel, which is already impregnated with honing compound, so you don't have to spray any diamond compound on it. There is a Tormek compound I love, but I do not, and you should not put it on this. It's for some of the other Tormek sharpeners that we'll talk about in my other videos. But this is fantastic for kitchens because you just are ready to go. And we want to take that on there, and we're going to just go back and forth a couple times. This actually deburrs the knife and gets all those micro abrasions off, and then we'll be good to go. So you don't need a lot of pressure. Just set it on there easily at the proper angle. So 18 degrees is about, and I can tell just by muscle memory, about right here. And we can go and I can even feel that knife where it belongs, and then I can actually, as a guide, keep that in position and run it back along the honing. And you can go one direction or you can go both directions. It doesn't matter. It works great. And then you only need to do it 1 or 2 times. Then we'll go on this side. Again, I know the angle because I can feel the knife with the apex along here. And it's gonna really polish that edge too. You'll see how polished this is. You can see it's really tough to look here, but that's really polished on the apex. And that is definitely sharp. Now take a look at this microscope. This is the before. Look at the pattern on this. And then here's the after that you can see, which is absolutely fantastic. You do see a nice smooth pattern. It's even. Apex is really nice. It doesn't have any burrs on it. It's really the way that it should be once that knife is sharpened. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and that sample that I showed you using my microscope, because that really can show you the results tangibly with this sharpener. Very close, you can see the result you get with the before and after using the Tormek T1. Let's go ahead and do a test. Let's see what we get on our best score and compare it to what we got before, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the T1 and other things you can do with it. And set it about 1/3 in again. I'm using actually the Cutco label as the guide to put it in the same spot to see how we're looking. And let's go ahead and put this down and see what we're looking at. Okay, we are definitely sharper. We took it down to 193. We're actually below 200, which is razor sharp. And this is a great example of how you can take a knife that was fairly sharp and you can make it even sharper. Again, I love the fingernail test. If you can't drag it across the fingernail just by resting on it, then it's pretty sharp. So that's the Tormek T1. It does all your kitchen knives except for serrated knives, but anything you have in the way of a boning knife, a chef's knife, I love this. And also, these are Japanese. This is a Japanese knife. They are fantastic. You can even do the larger cleavers on this really, really well. And even though it won't fit in the guide, there's actually a little trick on how you do it. And I have a video on that, on sharpening cleavers. Make sure you check that out up here. And I hope you like and subscribe to my channel. I do all things barbecue, cooking, and knife sharpening to bring knife sharpening to the average home cook, because a lot of people are intimidated by sharpening and it doesn't have to be that difficult. Tormek T1, super simple. You can't screw it up. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video, and if there's any other knives you'd like to see me sharpen with the Tormek T1. Also, for this video, if you check down below, you'll have a code with a discount for Tormek T1 that's gonna get you a nice break on the price. These are not super expensive. There are manual sharpening systems and stones that are actually more expensive than the T1. This comes with an incredible 8-year warranty, and you'll absolutely love it. Until the next time, smoke on, baby!